Jennifer Aniston, America's girl next door and queen of comebacks, is back in the headlines with a surprising new beau, Jim Curtis. He's not a Hollywood heartthrob, but a hypnotist, author, and self-proclaimed transformation coach with a possibly checkered past. From awkward red carpet poses to questionable revelations, the internet's buzzing with a collective "Jen, what are you doing? Is this true love or just a red flag in disguise?" Let's unpack the strange spell Jim Curtis may have cast over our beloved Jen. Jim Curtis, not your average wellness guy. At first glance, Jim Curtis sounds like the dream wellness guru. He's worked with companies like WebMD, Everyday Health, and the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. He also bills himself as a transformational speaker, helping people unlock their potential and rewire their reality. And yes, that includes hypnosis. But don't think it's the pull a rabbit from a hat kind of hypnosis. No, Jim specializes in embedded commands, subconscious mind tricks, and allegedly influencing reality with the power of carefully placed words. Imagine if your life coach and a magician had a baby. That baby would probably be Jim Curtis. But here's the thing. He also appears to be the kind of guy who could read your aura while simultaneously ghosting you. Because according to his own autobiography, yes, he wrote one, because of course he did, Jim admits to being bored easily in relationships. And by bored, we mean cannot date the same woman for more than one season. He literally describes rotating girlfriends quarterly like they're car tires or limited edition lats. If that doesn't scream emotionally unavailable in yoga pants, I don't know what does. Romantic past or reality show plotline? Jim's dating history could honestly be adapted into a Netflix docuseries called The Hypnotist Who Loved Me, briefly. He wrote, quite candidly, about getting bored in relationships, rotating women in and out of his life every few months, and even stalking an ex-girlfriend and her new man on Facebook. In a particularly "dude, why would you admit that?" moment, Jim confesses this spiral made him feel inadequate and not enough. Now, we all have low moments, but putting your social media stalking adventures in your autobiography is a bold move. It's like saying, "I'm emotionally unstable, but here's the paperwork to prove it." And don't even get us started on his family. He openly admits he has a teenage son who is, in his words, pissed at him and lives mostly with his mother. This isn't just a deadbeat dad situation. It's a deadbeat dad who turned his estrangement into inspirational content. He also managed to throw his sister under the bus in the same sentence as his romantic troubles. "My sister is a pain in the ass," he wrote, as if that somehow explains why he can't commit to women. Freud would have a field day with this guy. The hypnotist moves in literally. The rumor mill hit peak RPM when Jim listed his NYC apartment for a hefty $11,500 a month, prompting many to believe he's packing up and moving in with Jennifer. Because nothing says healthy relationship like breaking your lease after a few Instagram likes and some chakra talk. While most people move in together after years of shared Costco runs and arguments over throw pillows, Jim apparently just needs a few affirmations, some moon water, and a guest house in Malibu. Naturally, Reddit users had a blast. One cheeky comment read, "You are getting very sleepy. On the count of 3, you will hand over your mansion." Another user imagined him whispering, "I manifest myself into your real estate portfolio." You've got to hand it to the guy. He's got confidence. Whether it's spiritual or just wildly misplaced, it's hard to say. Body language says it all, and it's screaming for help. Photos of Jim and Jennifer out in public tell a story all their own, and it's less romantic comedy and more Netflix cautionary tale. Observers have pointed out that in nearly every photo, Jim has a firm grip on Jennifer's arm or back, while she stands stiffly next to him like someone who just realized she forgot to lock her front door. There's no beaming smile, no twinkle in the eye Rachel Green magic, just a woman who looks like she's trying to astrally project out of her own relationship. Some fans believe these body language cues indicate control, discomfort, or even subconscious resistance. In fairness, she might just be tense because she's dating a man who once appeared on Maury to perform past life regression. Yep, that happened. He reportedly discovered he was a Native American in a past life, a claim as cringeworthy as it is completely unverifiable. A spiritual bond or just shared delusions? One thing that reportedly brings Jennifer and Jim together is their shared love of spirituality. Both are said to believe in manifestation, energy work, and positive affirmations, the kind of stuff you'd find on a Pinterest board titled "How to Attract Your Soulmate While Saging Your Ex's Energy Out of Your Couch." In fact, Jen had already read Jim's book before they got together, meaning she likely knew about his dating habits, stalker phase, family dysfunction, and overall man-child with a meditation app energy, and still said, "Yeah, I'll give this guy a shot." Either love is truly blind, or it's been temporarily hypnotized. Friends concerned. Jennifer's real-life friends, not just her iconic co-stars, are reportedly waving warning flags like they're at a National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing race. They're telling her to slow down, think things through, and maybe not trust a guy who has literally described himself as someone who can't stay in a relationship. They're not staging an intervention yet, but the concern is real. Even fans online are unsure. One wrote, "Jim gets bored easily, but he's dating Jennifer Aniston." Apparently, he didn't read what Brad Pitt said about her being boring, harsh. Another added, "Even she looks boring and dated with her washed-out look." Now listen, we can throw shade at Jim all day, but leave Jen's balayage alone. She's doing her best. A Brad Pitt-sized shadow. Of course, it's hard to talk about Jennifer's love life without mentioning the ever-glorious, ever-haunting ghost of Brad Pitt. Their 2005 divorce still hangs in the air like the scent of Rachel's Thanksgiving trifle, layered, confusing, and slightly bitter. At the time, they claimed the split had nothing to do with tabloid rumors, but then Angelina Jolie popped up with a safari trip and a conveniently timed photo shoot. 17 years later, it was revealed that Angelina herself tipped off the paparazzi. It was less caught in the act, and more, here's the exact GPS location. And through it all, Jennifer stayed classy, never spilling the tea, never snapping back, never punching the air, at least not publicly. That's why fans want her to finally have her happily ever after, not just happily hypnotized for a few months before getting ghosted via guided meditation. Manifestation versus manipulation. Jennifer's always been open about her belief in the power of manifestation, speaking your desires into existence, affirming your dreams like they're already real. It's a beautiful practice, but it doesn't cancel out the importance of basic compatibility, emotional stability, or, not dating someone who once stalked his ex. Affirmations are great for boosting your mood, not so much for explaining why your boyfriend is moving in after week 3. While it's easy to fall in love with someone who talks a good game, wears tailored linen, and knows how to speak in TED Talk cadence, love isn't about theatrics. It's about emotional safety, maturity, and someone who doesn't describe every ex as a seasonal learning experience. Jen, blink twice if you're okay. At the end of the day, Jennifer Aniston can date whoever she wants, even a hypnotist with more baggage than lacks. But her fans, her friends, and anyone who's ever watched her cry over Ross are watching closely. This isn't just tabloid gossip. It's a collective prayer that our girl doesn't get burned again, this time under the guise of spiritual enlightenment. If Jim turns out to be the one, we'll all gladly eat our words. But if he turns out to be just another guru with a god complex and a ghosting habit, we hope Jen remembers she's not the one who needs to change. He is. Preferably into someone who respects women, shows up for his kid, and keeps his ex-stalking stories out of his published works. Until then, Jen, keep one eye open, and maybe ask your therapist, not your hypnotist, about this one. And that's a wrap on today's Hypnotic Love. If this video gave you life, laughter, or existential dread about dating again, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Until then, stay grounded, trust your gut, catch you in the next one.